not peacetime leaders. Wartime leadership is so different from peacetime leadership. Automatically, our role as a principal or leaders of the organization would change from peacetime leadership to wartime leadership, which is completely different. Completely different. There are many issues that you should consider as a wartime leader. The principal or academic head or senior vice principal and coordinators, they're all going to be leaders in this war. There are 5 things I want to outline today. These are the 5 areas in which the leadership has to function or be cognizant of these 5 factors. I would request you to listen to the 5 points and see and deliberate later on what you feel about them. These 5 issues are going to determine whether we come out unscathed as wartime leaders or not. This is going to be a test of our ability and mettle. The first point, remember that you are not going to be popular. Wartime leaders, very difficult for them to become popular because you have to take stern actions. Today morning, a businessman was talking to me. He was an ardent devotee of the Prime Minister earlier. Today he was talking in such bad terms, saying that this is the greatest enemy of our country. He did all this. He should not have done it. By doing this, economy has collapsed. It will take a long time for us to recover. And then he said, sir, how many people have died in India? 200. Okay. For saving 200, you destroyed the lives of 40 crore people. Which is right. Then he was reminding me of my lecture only. In Mahabharata, there is a famous statement which says, Tejed ekam kulasyarthe, gramasyarthe kulam tejed, gramam janapadasyarthe, atmarthe prithivim tejed. There's a beautiful statement which says, for the sake of a family, sacrifice one. And for the sake of a village, sacrifice a family. And for the sake of a country, sacrifice a village. That's what we are doing. When you build dams and all that, many villages get submerged, get lost. But it's good for the country. So sacrifice a village for the sake of a country. But finally says, Atmarthe Prithivim Teje. For the sake of self-respect, stand up against the whole world. That's a Mahabharata. And this man was quoting my own lecture back to me saying, you said it, Tejed ekam kulasyarthe. For the sake of family, sacrifice one. All right? Then why are you holding on to these 200 people and killing 40 crore people? They are going to die out of hunger. I told him, look, if you don't take care of 200, leave the country to itself, these 200 will manifest into 200 million. The spread is so fast. If you don't contain that now, it is going to spread across the whole country. Therefore, what Prime Minister does is right. Supposing somebody is sick in the house, we kill him because it may spread to others also? No, we want to save every life. That's how the people are responding now. People have to take hard decisions, and hard decisions will make them unpopular. Please remember, 2 of the best wartime leaders in the history of humanity in the last 100 years, 2 people, real good wartime leaders, was Winston Churchill for England and Indira Gandhi for India. Please remember, Indira Gandhi fought a pitched battle against Pakistan, was responsible for the formation of Bangladesh. And she again fought in 1965 against Pakistan, 1971 war against Pakistan, all famous wars. Winston Churchill won the war for Allied forces. But do you know, interestingly, they got the finest awards. As history records, these 2 prime ministers got the finest awards of the country to both England and India. But both were rejected in the electorate later. People did not like it. The reason is that it helped in solving a problem, but it created multiple problems later on within the country itself. Any action that you take, are bound to have some repercussions later on. Therefore, please remember the first point. Sometimes as a war leader, as the leader of the organization, you have to take some tough calls, and tough calls may also make you unpopular. Don't worry, prepare yourself for that. You're also assessed, most important, how you galvanize your team for effective functioning. When your team is with you, you can meet them in the staff room and talk to them, you can motivate them. Tell them the facts. When the people are virtual, they are not with you, how to galvanize them, motivate them, so that as a team they function effectively. This is a very crucial. Your leadership will be assessed by that. As a leader, if I stay at home, I'm comfortable, everybody stays at home, and finally, where is the focus of the school? Yeah, now we are doing many things, but I would request you, this is a very sincere request on my part, please don't fail in that. Make a time every day. I don't say more than 10 minutes. Keep this conference call with you. You can download Zoom or Google Meet or whatever platform you want. Please tell your people after dinner, whatever time you fix up, 10 minutes we talk to each other. These are called stand-up meetings in all IT industries. They're called stand-up meetings. Before the day begins, they'll talk to each other as sounding board. What is the plan today? Okay. Anything to be done from yesterday? Okay, we'll do that today. Any task for tomorrow? That's all. Similarly, I would request you, 10 minutes you talk to them each day. Keep the team together. Please remember, out of sight is out of mind. If you don't come to school, you don't feel like coming to school after this opens up. So therefore, please talk to them for 10 minutes each day. What is to be done? You don't have to sermonize every day. Ask them each one to talk for 5 minutes about something positive on that day. Make them think about the school. What can be done now? What could happen? Just engage them for discussion. If you are talking to them each day for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I tell you, your team is charged up. Please see, your assessment as a leader comes only when how you keep the flock together. Talk to them regularly. Third point, uphold the cause and concern of all the stakeholders. In your diary, please write down who are the people who are affected by this. You know very well, you don't have to write, but please write. And say, how do you satisfy the requirement of all the stakeholders without compromising on the results and also reaching goals? This is very important. Yes, I know the problems of the stakeholders, but at the end of the day, I must deliver. I must satisfy everyone. I must be answerable to every one of them. Therefore, what do I do? All the stakeholders are there. How do I respond to their needs and still satisfy the goal that we have in mind? We have to do that. And this is very crucial. We are all human beings, thank God. We have our own strong likes and dislikes. We have certain people whom we like so much. We like everybody as a leader, but certain preferential corners we have for certain people. In fact, this is not my statement. This is what Winston Churchill mentioned. He says, I'll read it. You will be assessed by how the leader put the most competent and qualified resources to fight. How we put the most competent and qualified resources to fight. Or if the leader persisted with personally loyal, positionally non-threatening, and underqualified generals in the battlefield. That means, do I assign the work to people whom I like, or do I assign the work to people who are capable? Ultimately, wartime, competence only counts. Peacetime, we can do anything. But wartime, you have to win the war, you require the best generals there, most best general. Classic example I want to tell you. Of course, there are many of you who are social science teachers, you may know it. Winston Churchill decided when he decided to go for the Second World War, he took the leadership of England You know what he did? Something extraordinary. Britain had never seen that. He made a coalition government. I want you to understand that, how beautiful it is. He made a coalition government, and who are the members of that? Mr. Attlee. Attlee was his contestant against him. And finally, he became the Prime Minister when Winston Churchill lost the election. So therefore, Prime Minister Attlee, Sinclair and Chamberlain, these were his strong opponents. He made them as part of the coalition government and gave them complete freedom. What does it indicate? Churchill was more concerned about winning the war rather than simply making partisan selections. Okay, these are our positions. Can you think for a moment? Prime Minister Modi invites Rahul Gandhi to be a member of the party team. Or all the opposition leaders you have, or Trinamool Congress, or all these people becoming part of a coalition government and fighting. Don't you think the country is so powerful? Each one is a wonderful leader. Irrespective of party affiliation, they came together and fight. That's what Winston Churchill did at that time. Perhaps you also have noticed recently when Obama became the president of the United States. Who contested against him? You know that? There was a pitched battle between Obama and Mrs. Was that? How can I forget the name? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, till the last moment, was sure of winning the election. But she lost the election and Obama became the president. But what happened later on? You see the beauty of this leadership. Obama went to Mrs. Clinton's house, talked to her and convinced her to become the Secretary of State. Can you think it can happen in India? Somebody loses election with you and you call him to be the Deputy Prime Minister of the country. Secretary of State for International Affairs is a very senior position. And interesting, Hillary Clinton accepted it. All the 8 years that he worked, Hillary Clinton worked under him as the Secretary of State. This is what we call, without being partisan, we assign work to competent people. Please, in your case, identify who can take the load and give them competent people who can do that. And the next point, without ignoring the troubles and suffering that you are going to have after this coronavirus incident is over. The effect is going to linger for a long time. Be prepared for it so that minimum damage is cost you. This is where I want to spend a bit of time here. Coronavirus is not going to stay for a century. It's going to stay for some time. But after coronavirus goes away, to come back to normalcy, it would take a lot of time. It would take a lot of time. And it would cause a lot of suffering to you, your people, and all the stakeholders. How, as a leader, you plan so that the suffering is least? You can't completely avoid the suffering. But how do you make the suffering least possible? People come out least bruised in this situation of this kind. Your strategy and planning is most important. Sometimes the managements feel, yeah, we can do everything. Believe me, they can't. They require your support. Without your support, they can't do it. Therefore, plan your strategies. When the management asks, you can do that, guide them. And last and the most important one is very, very important. You will be assessed by your ability to go beyond your peacetime efforts. This is very interesting. During peacetime, you performed so well. All of you have performed A, B, C level. You have done well. Even after this incident, the managements and people will assess you not against your struggle against this challenge, problem that you had, but also benchmark you against what you did before. Oh, last year he did so well. This year performance is not so good. People will forget this and start comparing your efforts with the peacetime efforts. That means I not only had to come out unscathed in this process, but also pitch myself at a higher level than what I did before. These are the challenges of a wartime leadership. We are going to have this problem. That's what I say. In wartime, leaders become statesmen. They become statesmen. They become very wise in doing things. Should be very, very careful in doing it. I'm sure you know how leadership originates and how it does. I have a few things to share with you. I would like to share my screen with you. I have made a small presentation about how to vision a school in crisis, how this happens. Please remember, what I call management of the school is basically a style of your leadership. Each one of you is gifted with a certain style of management. I don't want to go to the management styles to make it as a leadership class. Autocratic leadership or democratic leadership or different kinds of leadership we have. You know your type. What is your job now? To set thought in motion. I'm using the word very carefully. All of us have thoughts, beautiful thoughts. But how to make these thoughts in action, make them work. There are many leaders who think beautifully. Oh yeah, I knew it, how to do it, but I could not do it. That doesn't help. Therefore, plan your thoughts which are actionable. And how the structure changes, I have shared with some of you earlier. I don't know whether I have shared with you, or please remember this diagram. This is extremely useful to you. How the planning happens, how leadership emerges. You can see the center spot. They are visionaries, the founders of the institutions, founders of any principle. They are great visionaries. A brilliant idea strikes them and they are driven by passion. Yes, we should do it. We should do it. They are visionaries. They don't implement straight away. They talk to some of their closest friends. We call them as collaborators. You can see the second circle. The visionaries interact with collaborators like a sounding board. You talk to all the people. Is it okay? I have this idea. Will you think is possible? Is it possible or not possible? They are sounding boards. Once they discuss with the collaborators, some kind of an action plan comes. They share that with executives. These are people with knowledge, ability to manage, skills they have the concepts also. They are the executives. What is the role of executives? They have taken the ideas from the visionaries and collaborators. With their experience of managing situations, they'll talk to collaborators and visionaries. Sir, this is beautiful, but this will not work, sir. Or this is better. Can we modify this way? Executives help in two ways. One is refining the thought process, and next is most important, pass on this vision to the next level called grassroots workers. Now, I would request you to position yourself as executives now. As leaders of schools, you are executives there. Somebody thought of the school, is a visionary. Then there were collaborators with him or her. They planned together a structure of a school, gave a name for the school, and decided to whether affiliated to CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, whatever. It is their thought process. Then they appointed you as an executive. What is my role there as an executive now? I must interact with the visionaries and collaborators as frequently as possible. Refine their process because they have ideas. You know how to implement them by your training and expertise. You know which works, which does not work. Then once the idea is clear, concept is perfect, pass it on to the grassroots workers with the same passion. I have a sincere request to make. You have a tremendous responsibility here. You have to pass on that passion with the same intensity of visionaries or collaborators. If I become a manager, you know what I do? I don't know why the management says I told them not to do, but they are doing it. What can I do now? If you say that, you have failed as an executive. You have failed as you have let down your management and collaborators. What I do is, if I'm not clear about the concept, I should sit with the visionaries. So I'm not clear about this concept. Can you explain? Ultimately, you are defending your institution. You can't let down your institution. Therefore, talk to them, refine the process. Even if what they say is not very clear, you clarify the thought and explain to grassroots workers, your teachers and all the people associated with you. If they are not clear, please remember, your school will become a good functioning school or a poor functioning school depending on how grassroots workers work. Principal cannot take all the classes. Your teachers do take. And ultimately what they say goes to the parents and becomes a public opinion. You have very little chance of talking to all the parents, excepting on a few occasions. But teachers talk to them on a daily basis. The children pass on the message to the parents. Therefore, as an executive, I shall refine, collaborate and visionary thought, put in a nice, acceptable form, and pass on with the same vision, intensity to the grassroots workers. And it is also the job of the visionaries, request them. I would request you to do that. Some managements, because I know all the managements, not some of them, I know all the managements. Some of them don't meet the teachers regularly at all. They don't meet them. They say, you are there, no sir, you can talk, we can't talk much. Not necessary to talk, but put them in a casual talk mode with all the teachers. Let them know the mind of the management, how they talk. Then you interpret in such a way that the vision of the management is passed on with the same intensity to the grassroots workers. 3 things as executive I must do. I could school management, that is management of schools. As a leader, I'm sure you already, I'm so happy about each one of you. You have won the trust of your people. If you don't win the trust of your people, you can't continue to be a leader. People should trust you unconditionally. And people say, if the principal says, I'll do it, no problem. If the principal says, I will do it. If that kind of trust comes in, you're successful as an executive. Especially in the wartime situation like this, people should not go on questioning you. Why should we do it? Why are you saying it? Why the principal is saying it? If they start doubting you, effectivity is reduced. First, the trust is important. And second, the rapport that you establish with your colleagues. How affectionately I handle my colleagues is very important. Yes, principalship or leadership is an authority. Because it's authority, I can't be authoritarian all the time. I remember a classic example of one of the greatest presidents of America, whom I admire so much, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln. My friend, this is a beautiful episode, we can use it elsewhere. When Lincoln took over as the president of America, it was a testing time for America. The Civil War was brewing. Those who have studied American Civil War, you know, it's a horrible situation. There was a fight between the South and the North. The Southern was dominated by landlords and a lot of black people working as laborers there. And the North, called Yankees, started coming in. Atlanta became the fusion point. Atlanta was a place where the war was going on at a tremendous pace. Thousands of people were dying in Atlanta. The war was going on. Those days, wars were not fought by computers and lasers. It was fought by people on horseback and with arms in their hand. Abraham Lincoln went to Atlanta to meet the Army General. He went with Secretary of State. Secretary of State, he went there, and they went to the house of the General, and General was not there. The assistant told, sir, he had not come from the war field yet. We're waiting for him. Lincoln and the secretary waited. The General came back. He had a deep injury on the left shoulder. It was bleeding. He had blood on his face. He looked visibly tired and exhausted. All day fighting. He was not sitting before a computer. He was fighting in the war field. And he just stood there and saluted the President of America. And said, sir, I'll have a wash now. Yeah, you can go now. He went inside to have a wash. Lincoln and his secretary waited outside for the General to come back. Half an hour is over, 45 minutes over, and the General did not come back. Secretary of State is an officer of a very high rank. He felt insulted. What is this? President of America and myself are waiting and the General is not coming out. He asked the attendant, call your General. He went inside and came back and told, no sir, General has gone to bed. He has to take rest. Secretary General stood up and said, this man should be sacked immediately. How dare he can insult the President of America? President of America is waiting for him and he went to bed. The answer Lincoln gave was fantastic. He said, look dear, you and me sit in ivory towers and pass orders there. But it is this man who fights my battle there. Did you see the injury on his shoulder? He is fighting there. I don't mind washing his horse, applying medicine to the horse so that he can fight the war tomorrow. the better health rather than disturbing him. That's the American president. And the general came to know of it, and next day he telephoned and told, "Sir, this is what happened." I said, "Don't worry, carry on with the fight." The general fought till the end for the sake of Abraham Lincoln. This rapport establishment is very good. I'm sure you have done that very well in your institution. If there are small worries here and there, this is the best time to sort out. And the common vision, that's what I told you. Talk to them for 5 minutes each day, 10 minutes each day, so that you have a common vision. Instead of saying, "Oh, I didn't know what you are planning, ma'am. I didn't meet you. I didn't know what you are saying." But if you spend 5-10 minutes every day, the vision is focused. If you take a torch at night and put it on outside, you see a cone of light going up and you put a torch. It doesn't go beyond 10 feet or 15 feet for a normal torch. But you take a laser beam and put it, it goes for miles together. The same light, when focused, can pierce 1-inch hard stainless steel. When it is not focused, it can't even see a distance beyond 10 feet. Therefore, share time with your colleagues each day. There's one slide I wanted to show you. Yeah, I know which management style you are operating. This one is top-down approach, and other is participatory. I'm sure all of you are following the participatory type. Top-down means give instructions. Don't ask questions. Listen to me. Do it. When I say do it, do it. That's one type of management. It works in certain situations, not all the time. But participatory theory lasts longer because it does not hurt people. This is what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, this one is magnificent. Yeah, can you see the screen? I made certain blocks there. First one, you see, what are the qualities in building up? If an institution during this time, it must keep in mind these 4 factors. Yeah. If all these are there, still I say no followers. No followers because the first one is missing. Can you see the first block? The institution has a vision, institution has strategy, it has got appropriate skills and enough resources to manage. There is a reward system built in, there is an organization chart, but there are no followers because the first block, philosophy, is empty. There is no philosophy of an institution. If the institution where you are working doesn't have a proper philosophy, I would request you to create one. What is the purpose of this institution? Think your own way, share, and let that become the philosophy of your organization. Now see the second one. There is a philosophy, there are strategies, there are skills, there are resources, there are rewards, there is organization structure, but still there is a lot of confusion because there is no vision. The third set of institutions, philosophy is there, vision is there, skills are there, enough resources are there, rewards are there, organization structure is there, but as false starts because there is no strategy to implement. Nobody planned what is the first step and second step, how do you go forward? Strategy is not there, there is a false start. Philosophy, vision, strategy, resources, rewards, organization structure, all are there. But a lot of anxiety in the institution because required skills are not there. Don't you see? This is true with all organizations. If the skills are not there, it becomes anxious. You know, there are certain teacher with you and mathematics is a problem. I'm giving an example, not that is there. His skills are lacking. Therefore, the whole school, the parents keep on complaining, "Sir, my students find mathematics very difficult." There is anxiety everywhere if the skills are lacking. Philosophy, vision, strategy, skills, rewards, organization, everything is there. There's a lot of frustration in the organization, no resources. It will be financial or structural. I have seen a lot of institutions say, "Sir, we don't have classroom for the next year. How do I do it? So no salary for this month. Where is the money? No money. Resources of all kinds. You don't have. Moment there is a resource crunch, there is bound to be frustration in the organization. All these are there, but There is a lot of bitterness in the organization because there is no reward structure. There is no reward for good work. Reward does not mean giving a certificate and a medal. A word appreciation at the right time is more important. I always keep telling about it. Dante Rossetti, one of the greatest artists of Italy in the Renaissance period. He became a demigod, Dante Rossetti. His paintings were sold for millions. One day he had to go for a talk elsewhere. There was another 15 minutes time left. His secretary came and told, "Sir, somebody has come to see you. Can you see him for 10 minutes? He said, no, I have to go to lecture elsewhere. He said, I know, sir. But the problem is this man is coming to me for the last 6 months. He wants to meet you for 5 minutes. There's 15 minutes time. Can you see him? He couldn't say no. Yes, please send him. And the man walked in, a middle-aged man, and he had 2 bags in his hand. He kept one bag there and took out the first bag and took out 3 paintings from that and gave it to Dante Rossetti. Sir, can you see these paintings and tell me how are they? He was irritated. He's like, he's a legend. He's like going to Tendulkar and saying, is this bat okay, sir? You can't ask questions like that to a great, outstanding scholar. But still, Dante Rossetti took in his hand. They were very ordinary paintings, very, very ordinary paintings. He looked at that and said, okay, good work, but still you have to improve a lot, and gave it back. But the man took it and took out the second bag. From the bag, he took 4 paintings. He said, I know, sir, I'm taking your time. Kindly pardon me, 5 minutes, sir. Look at these 4 paintings. Rossetti, with irritation in his mind, took these 4 paintings, looked at them, felt wonderful. You know what he did? He sat on the chair, wore his spectacles, and started watching these paintings intently. After 5 minutes, he told him, this is magnificent, fantastic paintings. Whose paintings are they? He says, my paintings, sir. I have drawn, sir. But the first set you showed me, who drew them? He said, they were also mine only, sir. How can it happen? These are paintings you have drawn now? He said, no, sir. The second set I showed you are the paintings when I drew when I was a small child, as young. The first set I showed you, I am trying to draw now. Rossetti said, I can't believe it. When you were young, your paintings were so beautiful. Why did you not pursue? You could have been a great artist yourself. Then the man had tears in his eyes and told Dante Rossetti, sir, the tragedy was I did not meet Dante Rossetti at that time. Sir. Nobody told me you are good at that time. If somebody had told me good, I would have been another Dante Rossetti. The reward systems, if you don't have ways of appreciating people's work, there will be bitterness in the society, organization. Everything is there, but there is no organization structure. Everybody talks. Whether principal says, vice principal says, coordinator says, everybody starts talking about it. There is no organization structure. There is no proper reporting structure. Then there is no coordination. Your school becomes top class only when you have all of them together. Keep these 7 points in mind. These are the 7 parameters. I'm sure you know all of them. It's better to keep them in mind, and maybe this chart, Vivekananda will send it to all of you. Keep it with you and just watch carefully. As leaders, you should manage the institution like chess. Keep the board here and should guess what would happen next, what would be the next move. Similarly, keep this and say, which one is lacking in my organization? Okay, how do I make it stronger? Skills are weak, okay, we'll make the skills better. You have the training for them. Strategy, what is to be done? Keep all these points in mind and see which area your school needs support in that and carry on further. That's what 3 points I wanted to share with you. And apart from having the advantage of staying in your own house now, for a long time you have been staying. Somebody telephoned to my wife yesterday and asked her, your husband was always traveling. You missed him so much. No, are you tired that he's at home now? She said, no, fortunately not so far. I still enjoy that he's here at home. I'm also enjoying the staying at home. I'm sure you all enjoy staying at home. Use this opportunity, lovely opportunity of staying at home. Don't miss the time you are going to spend with your children. Spend time with them, enjoy playing with them, spend specific time. But also there are certain things I want you to do, my friends. In addition, most important is, as I told you, keep a fixed time to talk to your colleagues. Mark it as a priority. Each day. Don't miss it. It may look very simple and silly when I say that, talk to your colleagues. Talking on phone is different. Now you've got facility. If you want to talk one-to-one, take up your mobile and there's a WhatsApp call. You can talk to them. Video technique is there. Or the Zoom is available. 40 minutes free. If you go beyond 40 minutes, I think you may have to pay. Don't worry about pay. It's less than 40 minutes. You can talk to each other for 10 minutes. How are you? Fine. Bring all of them on the board, their dashboard. It looks so magnificent, Can you put all of them on a dashboard and see? It looks so nice, Please do that. Talk to them for 10 minutes. Make it an important thing. And then teachers may have some doubts and concerns. Believe me, most of the doubts are imaginary. Some are real. Clear the imaginary doubts first. Today somebody was asking me, sir, I don't think the school would start till August, sir. I said, why do you go so far again? Let us clear April month first. Because Corona is not a guest whose ticket is booked, return ticket is booked. If he is return ticket booked, I can definitely say he is going on that day. Tomorrow onwards, he'll be happy. Wait for 4 months. We can't predict. Therefore, be prepared. Tell your colleagues not to worry so much about it. But plan should be ready. That's what I'm trying to discuss with you, that. Keep them motivated all the time. Don't share your own anxiety onto their anxieties. I'm so tired, no, what will happen to school? If you start saying that, they'll be completely unnerved. You may have anxieties, tensions with you. I told you several times, leaders have to keep smiling even if there is a volcano eruptions in your heart. You have no business to cry. You have to show a positive face to your leaders. If you are crying, you are putting the morale of the whole team down. You keep smiling. No, nothing will happen. Don't worry. You don't know. In fact, Mandela mentions about it. He was flying in an aircraft. Suddenly there was, this called CAT. It happens in planes. It's called characteristic air turbulence. Suddenly, plane hits an air turbulence and the whole thing starts stuttering. The shake was so violent, even the captain announced, it's a SOS message, SOS, tighten your belt, hold on, put your head against the next seat, hold yourself firmly. That means the bird is going to crack. The SOS of the captain. Mandela was reading the newspaper. Continue to read the newspaper. After 5-6 minutes, turbulence stopped, plane landed, and the person sitting next to him, his minister, asked him, sir, you are not nervous at all. We were all shivering, but you were reading the newspaper. He said, who was reading the newspaper? He said, who was reading the newspaper? I was more nervous than you, but I could not show it. That's the problem. Once you get into leadership position, you can't cry. You can't show a sad face. That's what I'm telling you. Keep them motivated. Ask the colleagues to talk. Each day, something positive every 5 minutes. Something nice they read. Remember, I was telling you, make this in every class Monday morning. Something nice, positive to read, that you have read, positive that you have heard, something positive you have seen. Share that positive thoughts. This another one, second one is keep in touch with the managements. The first point is keeping in contact with teachers. Second, keeping in touch with the managements. Even if there is nothing for discussion, just say, hello sir, how are you sir? Fine, safe, stay at home. That itself is good. Keep talking to the managements and tell them that we care for you. As you care for us, we care for you. This kind of collaboration is most beautiful. Please remember, managements are under tremendous pressure today, which they had never faced before. I tell you, though I have spent about 48 years in teaching, I had never experienced a situation of this kind. So therefore, I am not a senior to you in this affair. I am also facing it for the first time. Situation of this kind have brought all managements on their knees. 2-3 worries they have got. Real worries they have got. Pressure of finances is the first one. You know very well, parents have not paid the fees. They will not pay fees. There is no money, especially in rural areas where most of your schools are located. They say there's no agriculture. Crops are not there. In Bijapur, Jamesh will know, that's the place which grows maximum grapes. And the grapes are buried under the ground. There's no market. Who will take them? And where is the money for them? They'll say, we are not able to pay. If they don't pay and the institution doesn't have huge resources of their own, then there will be a lot of problems. The problems will come in serious measure. I don't want to mention the name because I have not taken her permission. But there are certain people in this group itself, I know, you have done a great job. A principal had written a letter to the management saying that, I know, sir, we are going through difficult times. Therefore, I request you, from the month of April till June, give my salary only 50%. And I don't want increment for the next year. This may not be a great sum for the management, but it is a sounding feeling to the management that principals are with me. They are not just employees, they are partners of this business. The kind of association she has given, my grateful thanks to her. And I'll not mention the name, but she will know. Another worry is of admissions now. Am I right? Real worry of admission, because we don't know when the school will reopen. People will start admitting. In Bangalore, people start admitting earlier. They can't come out of the house. They can't make admissions. How many admissions will come? Your all financial budget depends on the income. If your income is not assured, how do you plan the expenditure? So therefore, admission is the second worry. And third and most important is the growth of the organization. How do you grow it? As a leader, you know very well, we have spent a lot of time with you. You plan the chart of growth of an institution. We had so many students this year. These are the activities we had. Next year, we project more activities and our growth will be this much. We make a lateral progression. Am I right? We plan our growth of the organization. Now you can't even plan the growth. Managements are concerned about it. First is survive. Then second, float. Then third is fly. So we are in the process of survival now. Therefore, be in touch with the management, stand by them, share your ideas and solutions. They may not be experts. They are experts in starting the school and giving some kind of facility. But as executives, you know what are the strategies you can think. Talk to other principals also what is done in their school. Suggest those methods to your management. So they'll be happy. Two things will happen. They may not accept your opinion. They may not accept your opinion, but they'll be happy that the principal is thinking about them, about their worries. That itself will be wonderful. Am I right? They feel that, oh, so many principals are also thinking about us. And think of ways, please plan in your house, spend 10 minutes every day. How to cut down expenditure next year. How to cut down expenditure. If you carefully plan, there are always going to be some expenditure which you can cut. And how best you can increase the revenue of your schools. Don't make the management think, I don't know about money, management worry about it. No, it can't happen. You should also think with them, how best, you know where corners can be cut, expenditure can be saved. Plan properly now. Be of great assurance and help to management. And third, being in touch with the students and parents. I'm so happy, I'm proud of each one of you. You are doing a lot of wonderful things, doing online classes for people. Your on classes are not available. We are doing mobile recording and passing on to the students. You're sending assignments to students. It does two things. When you're doing online classes and talking to students, it gives kind of an assurance to the parents that the school is worrying about them. Think of them. And this association with the students will ensure better admission for your school next year. Because it kind of gives a kind of confidence to the parents. Oh, principals are thinking of us. Teachers are thinking of us. Taking classes, assignments. And parents are also happy that the students are kept engaged for some time in the house. Parents do not know how to handle the children at home now. So therefore, give them suggestions. Not only just assignments and examinations once. Secondly, give some tips to the children how to handle themselves. Not necessarily 9th and 10th you are doing classes for them. Lower classes also are giving assignments. But also give them some creative activities. I can suggest a few. There are a few websites you can go and check where there is a storytelling session. There is a fixed time, there is a storytelling session. and tell the children. They are allowed to do that. Storytelling is happening at that particular time. They can go at that time and watch stories, listen to stories, and tell them what are the beautiful things involved in it. Some activities, like, I have been spending some time with my granddaughter for the first time. I got so much time. Craft with the child. How to make her draw paintings, nice paintings. Simple thread art you can do. Or in fact, assignment to my child is, okay, every day you should keep 1 pot of water for the birds and little grains for birds. It is your job every day. Small activity for them. They love it. Every day you should clean the pot, keep fresh water for the birds, and clean the plate and put fresh grains for the birds. This simple activity, child will spend about half an hour on that. Is it not right? Give them tips of managing children to the parents. Parents will be grateful to you. Grateful to you. And then, apart from giving academics, give tips to the parents how to handle their own emotions. Why I am doing it? You can say, I am teaching students. Why should I bother about the parents? But the question is this. It gives a very, very strong goodwill. Very strong goodwill with the institutions. The parents feel grateful to you because they are giving them some time. And also, tell them how to take care of themselves during this time, how to take care of the challenges we have about sanitizing or using masks, not to go out of the house, and tell them don't go. These are the numbers available. These, you not only as a teacher, but as a guardian of the child, you are giving some suggestion to them how to manage, keep them safe and happy. And share with the parents also some positive thoughts. I tell you, other day I was talking on television, but they come here only. I can't go to the television studio. They send the camera here and record and broadcast. I was telling, many parents ask me, sir, we are really worried. Will the school start this year, sir? To that, they say this year school may not start. Somebody has said the World Health Report, which says that the corona will go out of India only by December. Some report. Unfortunately, these odd reports come to our mind more quickly than the standardized reports. And the lady is a graduate, is an engineering graduate. She's working elsewhere. She's asking me, sir, on this page, Times of India, you see, they have mentioned that corona will go out of India in December. Then I told which corona gave the timetable. Did corona send a timetable? I'm going to be in India and December it becomes cold, I'll go out. No, nothing else. Nobody knows when it goes out. But take it from me, it will not stay so long. I do not know, but I said it. You know why? Instead of worrying till December, she can say, don't worry, it will not be there for so long. All viruses, little science knowledge I have, I told her, they are self-mutated, self-contained. Every virus has its own limited span of life. It lives and goes away. It may get mutated in different forms. Therefore, December and all that. Tell parents, if a engineering graduate can have that kind of worry, and when you are having interaction with the students, see whether you can have a Zoom interaction with the parents, class-wise, 10 standard parents. Not all of them may come. 10 parents will come. Fix some time. Let the principal can talk to them on Monday, or to the 10th standard student, 9th standard students on Tuesday, something like that. I tell you, even 50% of the parents come, it is good enough. They will tell the others, next Monday, don't miss it, huh? Next time you'll have a large number of people. Share with them positive thoughts. They'll be thankful to you. The question now that is in the minds of most of us is, when will this struggle end? Now today I'm told that Prime Minister is talking to the Chief Ministers of all the states, and probably he'll make a statement today. In all probability, we are prepared ourselves in our mind to shut ourselves off till 30th April. This is bound to happen. Till 30th April, this may continue. There is a possibility it may go beyond that. Somebody say May 15th. It may go to that. And when will the academic year start? I was talking to the Education Minister yesterday night. He was telling me academic year may be started late because the 10th standard exams are not over yet. After the exam, and the PUC one paper is to be done. After that, the evaluation has to happen. In all probability, it may happen earlier, is fine. But to me, it looks as though the whole thing may start by July end or August first week. Your classes may start by that. Why I'm suggesting this? It may not happen that way, but I'm telling you, Simple reason is prepare plan A, plan B, plan C. You can't do the emergency planning at that time. Make a plan now. Supposing everything goes on right, June 1st we start the class. What do we do? If it doesn't start in June, what do we do in July? If it starts in August, what do we do? Keep plan A, plan B, plan C ready. The reason is that be prepared to have a condensed academic year next. Next year could probably be the condensed academic year. What should we do now? We have to cut something there. Therefore, now is a beautiful time for you to talk to your teachers and plan out what can be left out. Plan it now, because they are going to make this a sandwich year. What will happen sandwich year? You may not have the winter vacations. You may have very short summer vacation next year, so that we can compensate the loss this year. Therefore, plan out properly what can be dropped. For example, there is a social science curriculum for grade 6. What chapters can be not pressurized so much? Which are most important? When I say important, from the point of view of connecting to the next year, it's very crucial, because whole thing is logical sequence. Therefore, don't miss the chain. See that concept-wise, the curriculum is continued. Plan A, B, C plan, so that we can do it. And then last word, keep fit. Staying at home, I can see some unshaven faces. Staying at home, you feel, what is the point in shaving? I'm not going to school. And nice mustache has come for some, and they look so different. Nice, it's okay, fine, nothing nice. Everything is beautiful. But keep yourself fit. Do exercises. I don't know how many of you do that. Please, if there's no place to go, don't walk outside anyway. Of course, on the terrace or the compound wall, you have some exercises you do. Keep yourself fit. More than physically fit, keep yourself mentally very fit, because you are a great intellectual soldier. Keep your mind fit. Mind is like a stainless steel knife. The more you use it, it remains sharp. If you don't use it for some time, it gets rusted and becomes blunt. Mind is also like that. Take it from me. Try it. 7 days, don't do anything. Sit before TV and go on counting the coronavirus numbers. After 9th day, you don't feel like reading book. You lost the taste of reading book. In fact, that's why I keep insisting on all the principals of my schools. Please take classes. Why I'm saying principal to take classes? First 1 year, you don't take classes. Second, you get used to it. Kind of supervision. You don't have to prepare anything for you. Mind gets used to it. The most important danger of the mind is mind gets used to the situation very quickly. Don't stop reading. Fix a time and read regularly. Please read. Standard books, not necessarily your subject books. You have time to read something else now. And I would urge you and compel you to write something very creative. You're all such intellectuals, wonderful people with a lot of talent. Why don't you write articles? May not be for publishing. Or I would suggest one thing. You write beautiful articles on different topics. Some of you want to write on Corona itself, or somebody wants to write about English literature. Somebody wants to write about Kannada literature or mathematics, something else. Any topic you want to write, please write. ACT will publish that. We can call Corona creation. During Corona time, we wrote something beautiful. We bring it in the form of a book. The reason is, and also the tragedy is, all of us are intelligent. All of us are capable, but we don't put our capability into action. Each one of you is capable of writing beautiful articles, thought-provoking articles. Please write. On religion you can write, on philosophy you can write, or if you want to write a small article on Mahabharata or Ramayana, you can write, no problem. Anything, because two things will happen. Your mind becomes so sharp. When you decide to write, your language skills become sharper. Talking is so easy. I've been talking for some time now. If you ask me to write it down, I'll take at least 4 days to write. The reason is that writing is a discipline. I'm doing it very sincerely now. I shared with my colleagues the other day, because I had to tell my diary also to them. I told them I have been writing very seriously now. I have written articles for my daily column for the next 1 month. I finished already. Next 1 month I don't have to write. I have written. And I'm also writing a book on Ishavasya Upanishad now. It's halfway through. I should be able to complete by the time I finish coming out, I will come out of this homestay. So therefore, please write something, read something very seriously, think. And then you also plan some creative sessions for your teachers. It's a beautiful chance for us to see your colleagues on the dashboard. Close your eye and see, focus on each of the teachers that we have. What is her strength? What is her weaknesses? Identify all that, write it down, and tell us this is the kind of training we want. Don't accept when we come to you for training whatever modules we suggest. Sorry, we don't want that. This is my problem. I want solution here. I've been telling Vivekananda, let us not give what we know. We should do what you want. Therefore, tell us, these are the areas of concern of my teachers. They have difficulty in speaking English, or they can't write English properly, or my mathematics teacher has poor concepts. Whatever you identify is the best chance for you to put them in that and see for yourself, and then tell us what kind of training you require. Finally, keep safe, stay at home, and be happy. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿದೆ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ದಾಸರ ಪದ ಇದೆ, ಬಂದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಲಿ ಗೋವಿಂದನ ದಯ ಹೊಂದಿರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು ಹಾಡು. ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಂದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಲಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ ದಯ ಹೊಂದಿರಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಗೋವಿಂದ ದಯ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕೀಗ, ಗೋವಿಂದನ ದಯ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರಿ, be happy, enjoy your stay. I'll stop at this.